Do you really have a kind heart? Are you a truly good person? Or could you potentially turn into a monster under certain external circumstances imposed upon you? We'll talk about the Lucifer effect, and we'll look at it from a spiritual perspective on your behavioral tendencies. But before that, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you can receive high vibrational content for your life. And remember, on this channel, you are the protagonist in transforming your life and the lives of others. So your opinion is important to us and to the thousands of people who will read your comment. Think about it. After these considerations, let's get to what really matters. But what the heck is the Lucifer effect? Imagine you're diving into a book that uncovers how anyone can be pushed to act in surprising, even cruel ways. That's the essence of Philip Zimbardo's The Lucifer Effect. Zimbardo explores the idea that we're not inherently inclined to evil, but that our surroundings play a huge role in shaping our actions. With gripping examples like the Stanford prison experiment and the Milgram experiment, he shows how situational factors can lead even well-intentioned people to behave badly. It makes us think about how environments and external pressures can influence our actions and shape our moral evolution. Consider the Stanford prison experiment. Ordinary college students, playing the roles of guards and prisoners, began exhibiting cruel behavior in just 6 days. It's astonishing how quickly an environment can change people's behavior. The cruelty that emerged from these participants highlights the powerful effects of authority and obedience. This serves as a reminder that even people we view as ordinary can be drawn into questionable behavior when the situation demands it. At one of the most disturbing moments in the experiment, the guards began to implement a brutal system of discipline. They forced prisoners to perform humiliating tasks, such as doing strenuous physical exercises and remaining in uncomfortable positions for long periods. Additionally, some prisoners were subjected to social isolation, being placed in small, dark cells for hours without interaction with others. The most emblematic example was how the guards used the prisoners' mattresses as a tool for psychological torture. They removed the mattresses from the prisoners' cells, leaving them to sleep on the hard floor, and frequently mocked them, creating an environment of constant fear and helplessness. Cruelty was amplified by the dehumanization of the prisoners, as the guards began to see them not as people but as objects to exert power and control over. This behavior is a clear example of how authority and dehumanization can quickly erode moral standards and lead ordinary individuals to act with extreme cruelty. Reflecting on this can help us understand how external pressures can affect us and how we can respond to them. The influences we face aren't just material but also spiritual. For those who believe, of course. In the context of the Stanford prison experiment, we can reflect on how the influence of evil spirits might have contributed to transforming participants into cruel figures. Indeed, it happened. These spirits have amplified the dehumanization and the oppression, fueling negative behaviors and manipulating the power dynamics in the experiment. They can only do that, amplify our real internal desires. These lower spirits can exploit our weaknesses and doubts, and their influence often manifests in thoughts and behaviors that aren't truly our own. It's a reminder that our morality is constantly tested on our spiritual path, and these influences can be more subtle than we might think. Tell us in the comments section if you believe them or why you don't. For those who believe, tell us a situation that made you believe. Your participation is important and you will help awake other people. Remember, you are a protagonist, not just a spectator. Agreed. But who are actually Theses' evil spirits? Why would they have intensified dehumanization and oppression inside the prison? That's what we are going to unfold. The so-called evil or inferior spirits are actually souls who have lived on earth and are continuing their journey in the spiritual realm. They are not demons. These spirits are people who, after passing away, are still developing and learning. They have aspects of their personality that haven't been fully refined, and this can manifest as behaviors that aren't exactly positive. Think of these souls as still carrying feelings like resentment or selfishness that they haven't yet overcome. Even after leaving the physical world, these emotions and internal conflicts still affect them. Sometimes, they might try to influence the living, perhaps because they're still grappling with unresolved issues or want to express something they haven't fully understood. For a better understanding, if you have an enemy who dies before you, they may still be your enemy and might even want to harm you. There are various reasons why these spirits might be disturbing you, such as issues from past lives or simply exerting a negative influence on you on behalf of others. It's not always a personal reason, but let's save this topic for another video with more details. Agreed. What's important here is for you to know that they are just ordinary people, but on the other side of life. when Zimbardo discusses how ordinary people can be driven to cruel behaviors. From our perspective, this might reflect unresolved spiritual tendencies from past lives. These tendencies can influence how we act and react, often without our conscious awareness. Imagine carrying an invisible baggage from your past life, filled with unresolved lessons and challenges. These aspects don't simply disappear. Instead, they shape how you respond and behave in your current life. For instance, even though you've crossed the veil of forgetfulness when you were born, if in a past life you struggled with envy or anger, these emotions might resurface in your current life, often unconsciously. You might find yourself grappling with intense feelings or behavior patterns that you can't fully explain. This happens because these tendencies, shaped by past actions and decisions, continue to influence your behavior, offering a chance for learning and overcoming. Recognizing that certain behaviors might have roots in past lives allows us to approach these issues with greater compassion and patience. Facing current challenges with this perspective helps you see each obstacle as an opportunity to resolve lingering issues and evolve spiritually. Thus, reincarnation isn't just a sequence of lives but a continuous opportunity for growth and refinement, paving the way for deeper personal and spiritual transformation. While Zimbardo highlights how situations can transform a person's behavior, this insight reminds us of the importance of inner reform so we can have an even better reincarnation, if needed. By strengthening our spiritual resilience and improving our moral virtues, we can stay aligned with our higher purpose, even when facing external pressures or challenging situations. Think of inner reform as constant training for your spirit. Just as an athlete needs to prepare physically to compete, we need to cultivate self-reflection and work on our moral qualities to face life's challenges. Now, we prepared a test for you to explore behavioral and emotional tendencies. Tell us in the comments section what you discover about yourself. Agreed. Remember, this is a personal reflection exercise and not a definitive diagnosis. Let's do it. Do you have a tendency to get easily stressed and anxious, even in situations that seem normal to others? If you've always been someone who gets stressed easily since childhood and there's no clear explanation for it, it might be a sign that, in a past life, you faced situations that caused high levels of stress and anxiety. Past experiences can leave emotional marks that manifest in your current life. Do you find it hard to forgive people, even when they show sincere remorse? If you consistently struggle with forgiveness, it might reflect unresolved resentments and hurts from past lives. Perhaps you experience betrayals or injustices in a previous life, and these emotions are still influencing your current behavior. Do you have an intense fear or aversion to figures of authority, even if you haven't had recent negative experiences with them? This fear may result from past experiences where you were dominated or oppressed by authority figures. If you can't understand the origin of this fear, consider that it might have roots in a past life where you suffered abuses of power. Use these reflections to promote self-awareness and work on inner transformation. Remember, the spiritual journey is continuous, and each step we take towards understanding ourselves can contribute to our personal and spiritual growth. If you think this test might help others understand more about themselves, share it with friends and spiritualist groups, and don't forget to hit the like button to help this video reach other people. Remember that you are a protagonist in the transformation of your life and the others, not only a spectator. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to continue receiving content that promotes personal and spiritual growth. May God bless you.